Hello, welcome to another episode of PokéBoys. We are in leg 4 of season 4, covering Pokemon Infinity. The gang is back, recovered? Question mark. Hopefully from a very long march of podcasting
Madness.
between PokéBoys and Showboys.
That's right, the madness. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's over finally, and I'm glad because that means I can play more Pokemon and we can record more of these episodes. So, yeah, we're here. That's what we're doing. But before we get into it, we gotta check out how the guys are doing. Kumino, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fantabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff's phone almost looks like a Game Boy Color. Like
it does.
In the corner of the screen. I was like, wow, that's pretty sick.
What was it called when they came out with the thin ones?
Like the ones that would fold in half?
No. The Game Boys that they were like this thin.
Oh, I don't know.
But they were still
pocket. That's what.
Yeah, pocket. Yep. Yeah, you're right. You know, they have some really cool I can't ever think of the names of them, but they're just basically like emulator machines that look like Game Boy Pockets. Yeah. There's one that I always send a link to Jared because he always talks about wanting to buy one, but I can never remember what it's called. Anyways, they're sick, but I have a Steam Deck, so.
Right. You have the greatest of everything.
No. All right, Jeff, Dad, how are you?
I'm great.
Yeah.
Sorry for the distraction. Yeah, new place, very plain. Yes. No longer.
Okay. It looked nice.
No longer a basement cluttered.
Yeah. He promoted from the basement to a normal room.
Hey, that's always good, man.
Yeah. I need a cool poster right there of Fennekin or Delphox.
Okay. That would be nice. That'd be nice.
We'll see what we can find for you.
Yeah. I'm excited to get into the episode tonight. We have a lot to cover. We kind of made an adjustment on the fly. This episode was only supposed to cover the title badge, but that portion of the leg only took maybe 20-ish minutes. There was not a lot of travel from where we left off in leg 3 to getting the title badge, so we called an audible and we went all the way to the Vitality Badge. So we ended up getting our 4th and 5th badge, completing the gym circuit. So that means after this week, we only have 2 episodes left. The next episode will cover the Elite Four and the Champion battles. And then the finale episode, I believe, that would be 6. We will do exactly like we did for Pokemon Bushido, where we'll come back, we'll talk about our final thoughts on the game, kind of give it a little review, and of course have our season 4 final battle.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, we do have our 5th badge, but I had noticed when I was saving that it says 6. Where does the 6th one come from? Like, I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like a badge.
That's a great question. I don't know. Anyone from the Infinity team that may be listening to this episode, I know you guys hang out in our Discord, but if you're listening to the episode, let us know. Why does it say we have 6 badges? Now I gotta know. But before we get into the events of leg 4 here, covering the title and the Vitality Badge, we have just amazing news. 3.0 came out, and we were all able to update to the new version of Infinity. And holy crap, if you listen to the season 3 interstitial where we interviewed Atomic, he talked a little bit about the new features and whatnot that came with 3.0, and it delivered. Like, we were hyped about 3.0 after he was telling us about it, and now that we've been playing on 3.0, the hype is real and is still going. It's just amazing. Any features in particular that got you guys excited, Kumino? Anything?
Random colors.
Dude, the rainbow mode is so awesome.
Yes, it is. I found my first rainbow Pokemon. Nice. It was a strange looking tentacle.
Do you know what rainbow mode is, Jeff? Okay, so
I love the huge smile as he's like, I'm totally oblivious to this.
So they added a mode called Rainbow Mode, and it's basically like fake shinies. It just adjusts the hue of the colors of the Pokemon. It has a much higher chance. I forget the percentage, but it's way higher than a shiny.
I think it was 1 out of 380.
Yeah, it's pretty high. I ran into quite a few. Some of them look really cool. Some of them look really stupid, but it doesn't matter because they're different and exciting, and it's random. And it is possible to have a rainbow hued shiny. So some people in the Infinity Discord have already caught what they're calling super shinies, which is a hued shiny Pokemon, and some of them look so good. If you're not already in the Pokemon Infinity Discord, I suggest going in there. They have a new channel for to showcase all the different hued Pokemon people run into, and there's some really, really cool looking ones. There's also a feature tied to this where you can pay money to change the hue to whatever you want it to be, which is super cool. I can't wait to fiddle around with that and make some really cool looking Pokemon. But they also added monotype runs, Nuzlocke, and other like challenge options. Just a lot of really cool stuff. But most importantly, now that 3.0 is out, battling and trading is back online. So that means we will be holding a Season 4 Infinity Interstitial Tournament with you listeners. If you are not following us on Twitter, go follow us, PokéBoys Podcast, or join the Discord so you can stay up to date with all this information. Sent out a tweet the other day and yesterday in Discord. We kind of organized the tournament a little bit. We have 8 participants, including the 3 of us here. So 5 listeners and members of the Discord community join this tournament, and we're going to duke it out with our final teams that we ended Infinity with. It's going to be super fun. And we even added some stakes, much like the season finale battle for us that has high stakes going into the next season. We decided to add some stakes for the listeners in the tournament. The listener who advances the furthest in the tournament, because, one of us, we might win. We are the PokéBoys.
I'm already calling it.
Come on.
I'm already calling it.
You already know it. You know who's going to win, people. Come on.
Right. So in case a listener doesn't win the tournament, we'll award this to the listener who advances the furthest. They can have the option of either appearing as a guest host on a future season and, being on every episode of that season, just like, we are, and talking about their play, or they can pick a challenge or a fan game to play for a future season. So best of luck. Whichever listener advances the furthest, you have the option of one of those 2 things, and it should be cool. We're looking forward to it. I'm probably going to get smoked. I'm not going to lie. Some of you guys are crazy out there.
Right. But I will pay. One of the people that's in the tournament would not pay. I would just be extremely nice to you. If one of you guys could take out Jared before he makes it to me, because I am extremely afraid of him.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He is pretty good. But it should be a fun time. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, join the Discord. Let's get into leg 4 here. Of course, we're going to start off this episode like we do every other episode, where we're going to recap our teams at the end of leg 3. I left off with Baggins, my Venusaur, at 57, Crash, my Coca Smash, at 58, Bud, my Psysteed, at 57, Hooch, my Warina, at 58, Toots, my Grimfowl, at 56, and Cindy, my Ego Typhlosion, at 58. Dad, what was your team after leg 3?
After leg 3, I had Ricky, my Blastoise, at 59, Sheldon, my Luxray, at level 54, Aaron, my Skarmory, at level 52, Blaze, my Rapidash, at 53, Chica, I can never say what this is. Meganium, level 53, and Barry the Baldor at 52. Dude, I'm so excited for this leg.
Yes.
Some amazing things happen there. Go ahead.
How was your team looking at the end of leg 3?
Okay, well, I had Kurt, my Luxray, at 54, Chompet, the Ego for Alligator at 57. Fancy, my Gardevoir at 55. Cody, my Crocodile at 55. Cray, my Grimfile at 56. And Els, my Ego, there we go, Charizard at 56.
Nice.
And like that, I'm not gonna say that I'm excited, but I'm excited because some good stuff did happen.
Yes, it did.
Found some nice items, essentially. Like, okay, so I'm pretty sure this was probably a glitch of some sort, but like a lot of strange stuff would happen to me. And so I was able to do things that I shouldn't have been able to do.
So you were cheating.
I didn't become Jesus. I didn't become Jesus. It just my like stuff would randomly disappear. Like the beach, right, where you get the title badge. You know how it's full of trainers?
Yeah.
All of the trainers disappeared.
Was it at night?
No, it was during the day. I got out, I battled one of them, got out of the battle, the screen flashed and everybody disappeared, and I was like, okay.
What did you do?
That's crazy.
Oh man.
I just beat the little girl. That's it.
Beat up a little kid.
Yeah. I mean, if I was on the beach, I'd probably run away too.
Yeah. Got coming through there with super strong Pokemon,
yeah. So yeah, a lot of fun things happen this leg for sure. I've got quite a few pages of notes here to go over. So before I go any further, one of the other things that was added that I noticed in the update, I went, I was following that breadcrumb quest. If you remember, I left off trading the water pail for mystery seeds, like in leg 2 or something.
I was trying to remember where you started that at.
Yeah. So I decided to just go on the wiki and see what I have to do with these mystery seeds because I wasn't figuring it out. I know.
Cheater.
But it turns out it's a very long breadcrumb quest that it has many, many phases. And I've at the end of leg 4, I have like 2 or 3 more things to do before it's completed. But one of my trips during this quest brought me back to the Hayesport suburbs, and I rode past the daycare and noticed somebody standing outside the daycare that wasn't there before. So I went over to talk to him, and it is a breeder, and she gave me an egg hatcher item, and you can load it up with like up to 50 eggs, and it helps hatch them a little quicker and multiple at a time, so they don't take up like slots on your team. You can just throw the eggs in the hatcher, I'm assuming. So if you're into breeding in this game, stop by the daycare now that 3.0 is out. Once you update, grab the egg hatcher, and it'll be in your key items pocket in your bag, which I thought was pretty cool. But while I was in the suburb here, after Akumino, I believe you were the one that brought up Scarlarva in this zone here. Has pretty high encounter chance from the shakeable trees. So I caught one, of course, because it's bug dragon. That's totally sick type. And I named it Vivs because it kind of looks like, its final form looks like a very scary villain. So Vivs made it onto the squad, and I decided to swap out Baggins. So my Ego Bulbasaur is in the PC at this moment, and I now have Vivs, my Scalarva.
He betrayed the starter. He went against the grain, and he benched his starter.
Who does that?
Yep. But did you guys do anything before we picked up on the actual quest where we left off at leg 3?
Okay, so you know that I was working on getting you guys eggs.
Mm-hmm. Which I appreciate. You traded with me. I appreciate you got me some really good statted ones too.
Right. Dad, you still got to pick yours up. But I essentially just ran around a lot, found some items, since we're able to cut and do a whole bunch of different stuff now. But eventually I ended up sleeping because the first egg was taking so long. So I slept, just to rest up. And I went to go pick up the egg and I was like, let me try something. So 3 days in a row in game, I slept and I was able to pick up the egg. And so I was like, oh my God. So that's what I did. I got to get that hatcher because I did not talk to that person. I was like, had they always been there? Maybe they had. I'm just worried about the eggs.
Yeah.
And so,
That's really cool, actually.
yeah, it is. Like, it's a great time saver. But let's see. I picked up the claw fossil from Iron Dune Cave because I was out there trying to find a gabite or something of that nature. I failed horribly. But I tried to find me a shiny Gligar. Did not find that. Let's see. Yeah, I just essentially just went around, beat up some trainers. Like let's see, I beat up a hiker named Brady, a spiritualist named Joshua. Let's see, I found a chest that gave me 5 green apricorns, 5 luxury balls, a big nugget, 8 hyper potions.
Oh, wow.
Battled Cool Trainer Parker, Tamer Jackson, Gardevoir, went up to level 62, learned Moonblast finally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was essentially it.
But you did any adventures pre story pickup?
So the only thing that I wrote down was that I talked to Thorn.
All right. Well, then let's pick up right where we left off at the end of leg 3, which we were told to head towards Falcon Heights because he could hear the he suspected the caravan had made it because you could hear stuff in the distance. So after I did all my shenanigans, messing around with the update, seeing what was new, I flew to Thorn's lab and went south to Falcon Heights. Here, we have an outside like mountain cave zone. We run into Teal actually, but it's a fake out. She actually doesn't battle us. She said that her team just got wiped out by some weirdo, and that told her that she'd be a perfect candidate for their team, and that they were on a mission to save the world, and that these people went to the cave ahead, and Dad, I'm sure, just entered into a panic attack.
I literally put the facepalm emoji after I wrote cave.
Yes. Just before we get to Teal, though, there's a water stone hanging out there, and also found an old amber just before the cave. And as you're kind of traveling around this route here, in the lower right-ish portion of this map, there is a cave entrance for lower Kronos Temple. So you can kind of go in there and explore, but if you don't have strength, there's not much you can do here. In here, I did find an astral stone, a moonstone, the iron head move tutor, and a chest that had ice beam, a dusk stone, a blue shard, and a couple other things. But the place we want to go is the Kronos cave, which we have to do kind of a little jog around this mountain up the ledge to the top and enter the cave there. But before we go into Kronos cave, did you guys have any cool encounters or anything on this route? Anything to note?
Let's see, because I actually went into the upper Kronos cave before I went into the lower.
Okay.
Let's see. But in the lower one, I got that same chest. Found a miner that gives you iron head.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's about all that I did. No real encounters.
But you did anything noted?
So, I don't know where this lands. It's probably outside. I found the same chest that Kumino you were talking about with the 5 apricorns, luxury balls, the big nugget, and hyper potions. I really wanted to catch the Rhyhorn because it was pretty cool. I smacked it with water.
Oops.
I should have known. I should have known. I also one-shot the Cranidos.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which I wanted that also. So then I have cave, and then I caught LGM.
Oh, cool.
Named it Egghead.
Nice.
And then I left the cave after realizing I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay. I caught Absol, named it Axel. Finally caught the Rhyhorn, named it Ryan. I caught a Nidorino, named him Nico. And then here I get to Falcon Trail.
Rhyhorn is one of those Pokemon from Generation 1 that like I want to use and I think like looks cool and I think is like a cool concept for Pokemon, but then I've never used it. And like Rhydon looks cool, Rhyperior looks cool. Just I've never used those guys.
I used it, but it was so long ago that I don't remember whether it was actually good or not.
Right? Yeah.
He looked cool.
That's all. I mean, like a stone rhinoceros. That's freaking awesome. And LGM is another Pokemon I think looks really cool that I've wanted to use, but I never have. Maybe someday. I don't know. We'll see.
Also,
yeah,
this is what we had traded. So I decided to bring the Bulbasaur that you gave me and the Cyndaquil you gave me.
Okay.
Cyndaquil evolved into Quilava, and
Nice.
Bulbasaur evolved into Ivysaur.
Yeah. Very cool. I will say it was kind of a pain swapping in Scalarva for Venusaur because I think Scalarva was like level 25 when I caught it in the suburbs, and Venusaur is like around 60. So it still isn't fully caught up to the rest of my team's levels, but it's much closer. It's within like maybe 5 levels of the rest of my team. But yeah, that was kind of painful.
Well, if you got the amulet coin, that trader in what is it called, Merchant's Ridge, that be there.
So rare candy.
No, well, yes, but I was going to say the lucky egg.
Oh,
you get a lucky egg, and then you can go buy a lucky egg.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about lucky egg. You're right. Yeah. I probably have one.
And so if you got the amulet coin, just grind up that money.
Yeah,
and buy that. That's what I put on the E Cyndaquil and the E Bulbasaur that you gave me.
Does that also is that also affected by experience share, or is it only if the boost only apply if it's like in battle?
In battle. But the way that I do it is I had them at the front of the party and then I swap them out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to throw a lucky egg on there. It's great. Thank you for that.
No problem.
About that. So we kind of make our way up the mountain here and head into Kronos Cave. And a few things, before any story stuff happens. Found a shiny stone, like Kumino said, a lot of items in this leg for sure. I caught my first hue, and it was a purple hued Golbat, and I named it Hubert. Obviously. The cave itself is full of Team Fate grunts, so there's a lot of battles with Team Fate. I did get Vivs to fully evolve into its final form, which is Saragol, and it evolved. It's a 3-stage evolution, has a middle evolution, kind of like Kakuna or Metapod looking, but then it evolves into Saragol at level 50, so it was quite a grind. But Do you guys have anything you want to talk about before we get into the story bit here in the cave?
Let's see. I just beat up Team Fate. Typhlosion. Well, Quilava evolved into Typhlosion, and
Nice.
Ivysaur evolved into Venusaur. So yeah, that was pretty much. Let's see, headphone. Okay, so, yeah, that was about it. Yeah.
Dad, anything for you?
So I somehow ended up in a cemetery, and I quickly turned around. I went back.
Nice.
I yeah.
Just
I caught a Nidorina.
Nice.
Named her Nina. I passed out while I was fighting the interviewers.
Oh man.
I woke up all the way back at the desert.
Oh my god. I hope you had a flyer with you.
Yeah.
I did.
Nice.
I caught a Larvitar.
Nice.
Named it Larry. And I was super excited for this one.
Larvitar is cool. Where did you catch Larvitar at?
I don't know.
Okay. Very helpful.
Somewhere between the desert and the Kronos Cave.
Nice. Way to narrow
somewhere
that
along
down.
that long trek.
Yeah, it could literally be anywhere in Ego.
Yeah.
Man, I often forget that you don't have much experience with Pokemon. So even the older gen, like non-fan game variants or Fakemon are still new to you. So the Larvitar line is going to be really cool for you.
Yeah, that's a pseudo legendary.
And it was. But at this point, I was looking to see what Pokemon 1 would evolve into, if they would.
Mm-hmm.
And what it would take to get them to evolve.
Nice.
So once I discovered what it would, evolve into, I was super excited.
Oh yeah, Tyranitar is awesome.
So in the cave, just a couple things before we pick up with the story again. I got the Dragon Fang.
Nice.
Gave it to Chica. Found an Electrizer.
Nice.
Got through the cave, ran out of balls, super sad. I couldn't catch a Ditto. Because like every Ditto that was roaming around, I had one shot.
Hey, wasn't they like level 62?
I don't know why. Like it must have been Ricky and his water blast or something. I don't understand. That was like I got excited because that was like part of the whole plan, right? To be able to.
Yeah, this cave is the easiest place to catch a Ditto. I painfully just ran around the Hayesport suburbs for like a 1% encounter rate because I was bored in between legs.
I one shot every Ditto in that cave.
Yeesh, bro.
Poor Dittos.
Take your foot off the gas, my dude.
I'm trying to tell you, Ditto's like, we got this. Oh.
Nope.
Oh man. All right.
But that's it for me.
As we head towards the second ladder of this area, a surge of energy washes through, accompanied by a loud roar. And as we ascend to the top of the cave, which is now outside, we see that members of the caravan are battling Team Fate grunts, and that Team Fate stole the Azure flute from the caravan, which remember, that that's a sacred item for the Palkian caravan here. And even Koba is here battling Team Fate too, which he's Geralt's son, right? He is the child of an Ego council member, but I couldn't remember which one.
Not Jared. The one that's in Echo Rock. What was his name?
Oh yeah, the actual gym leader of that town, not Gerald. Yeah, right. That guy. He's his son. But he's there battling Team Fate too, and We make our way through battle a Team Fate member or two, and weave in between the NPC battles that are happening, and go into the building there that's on top of the mountain. And Team Fate's leader is there resetting the puzzle. He says he saw us in Genesis Forest, and he introduces himself as you, the leader of Team Fate. He already captured Palkia, and he tells us he isn't going to battle us, and that we need to end whatever little adventure Thorn has tasked us with, and that we're dealing with forces beyond our understanding.
He also said, I was wondering when you and I would cross paths. So he expected it.
Ooh.
Well, no, that was because he's the guy that was in Genesis Forest that was talking to the two people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were looking directly at us, but they acted like they didn't, pay no mind to us. And like, so like that's what he was saying. Like he's seen us there and was wondering when would we actually cross paths?
Yeah.
Because of course the whole Ego region knows of us. We was on the news, for Pete's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows us. How many just regular NPCs you walked up on that was like, hey, you're the guy that I seen on the news? Like,
yeah.
I can't even be sneaky if I wanted to.
Yeah. We went viral, that's for sure.
Right.
So he leaves, and of course it sucks that he captured Palkia, but we're here for a charged shard with the energy from Palkia. So yeah, the bad guy captured a legendary, kind of sucks, but he did the job of summoning Palkia so we could get our shards. So we have to solve the puzzle, which shout a throwback to classic Pokemon puzzle, putting together the picture. How did it take you guys long to figure out?
Took me some time. Eventually got it.
Yeah, like I knew what it was supposed to be. It's just that I couldn't get the pieces to work together.
Yeah. I think Obey had the same issue. I was watching him stream. But yeah, so we put the puzzle together, and it's, of course, Palkia. And we go down into a big room full of statues, some of which are alive, by the way. And these living statues are the Fakemon Gargon, which is a rock dragon type. Which, Jeff, did you ever hatch the egg you found in the Hayesport Museum garden?
No, but I know that this is what it was.
Yep, this is what you would have got. So of course I caught one, named it Greg. You guys caught one too, yeah?
Yeah. I called mine Goliath off the guy, the main gargoyle from the show Gargoyles. You remember the cartoon?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I named mine after a much lesser character from that show, Greg. The gargoyle.
I named mine Gary.
Hey, nice. We were the two stooges behind Goliath. Or what was his name? Kumino?
I can't remember. I just really remember Goliath.
Yeah.
But I can't remember everybody else. I will go look it up.
So in the lower levels, as we make our way to the ladder, get to the lowest level, we find a room full of arcanium. One shard is charged and lying on the floor. Of course, that's the one we need to grab. We take it, and there also is a hidden Stardust item in this room. So make sure you go grab that. And we left.
I checked every chunk.
Yeah.
But there was only one other thing.
I have to say, my biggest piece of advice for anyone playing this game is, if you see a place in the world and you're like, if I made this game, I would hide an item there. 95% of the time, if you go there, there's an item hidden. So check those places, because there's some pretty good hidden items. But yeah, so we grab the shard and we head back to Thorn's lab. Once we get there, we update him with everything that happened. Thorn thinks it's odd that you mentioned him by name, and thinks it's alarming that they made Team Fate made away with Palkia and the flute. He tells us we need to go to the island up north to get the next shard and asks us to be careful because you and Team Fate are most likely also headed that way. And to get to the island known as Diamond Peak Town, we need to go take a boat from the boathouse south of Hadus Town and Haytide Cape. So flew down to Hadus Town, took a left, and about 30 steps we made it to Haytide Cape. And this is where we get the title badge.
Indeed.
Anything to add before we get into our battle with Chad?
Well, like I said, they disappeared on the beach for me after I fought the one little girl.
they saw your power and they were like, oh, heck no.
Yeah, they still haven't returned. I can tell you that much.
Did you get the badge, though? Did Chad disappear?
Yeah. No. Chad was still there.
Oh, okay.
Just everybody else disappeared. Yeah, Chad was excited for it. But then
that's how Chad is. Yeah.
Yeah, he quickly realized, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't have messed with you. We should have fallen in the water. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Chad's dialogue is kind of funny.
Right.
It's not recommended to fight on water.
Yeah, people might drown or something, but whatever. Yeah, so there's nothing to do in Haytide Cape except for battle Chad. So,
well, you do have that cave.
There's a cave.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's after the battle.
Oh, okay, that's right. Excuse me. So the battle with Chad, the 4th Ego Council member. His team is made up of Politoed, level 60, Slowbro, level 63, Floatzel, level 63, Skull Kraken, level 62. It's a Fakemon that is Steel Water type. A Lapras, level 64, and a Kingdra, level 66. I lost my first attempt, won on my second attempt. My first attempt, I tried to use Viv's. It was level 51 at this point. It got one shot by Politoed. So right off the bat, just obliterated by an Ice Beam. But Crash came in and took care of Politoed. Slowbro, 2-shot Crash. Cindy came out and unleashed a Thunder for a KO. Floatzel comes out and flinched Cindy with a Waterfall. Then finishes Cindy off with another Waterfall. 2 shots my Toots Grimfowl with an Ice Beam. Hooch comes in, crunches for the win. Skull Kraken comes out. I switched out Bud for a Jump Kick, which did about 40% of his HP. But then Bud got one shot by a Hydro Pump, of course, because Bud is Fire Psychic. I sent in Hooch so I can max revive Crash. Hooch almost knocked out Skull Kraken, but Chad ended up using a full restore. Hooch got KO'd. Crash comes out, and Chad switches Lapras in. Lapras then 2 shots Crash, and Kingdra obliterated the rest of my team with Dragon Pulses. Came back, switched up my strategy, and ended up taking care of him with my second attempt. It was still a little difficult, but I was slightly handicapped with Viv's being much lower than everyone on Chad's team. How did the battle go for you, Kumino?
Okay, so the 2 that you gave me, they were essentially the MVPs because I wanted to use this battle as the opportunity to get them really leveled up and caught up with everybody else. So them and Hyper Potions got the job done.
Yes.
Nice. Dad?
Yeah, it was easy.
Nice.
So I also lost my first go around with Chad.
Okay.
I also noted that the Skull Kraken looked cool.
Does.
So I lost. I ended up at some point catching a Hoot Hoot, named it Huey. I finally beat Chad. Tough fight. Also used a lot of Hyper Potions. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. Like half my team is weak to water or ice. Maybe more than half my team. So I was just like getting obliterated. But once we beat Chad, we get Surf. And
I already had it.
This isn't.
That's right. He's Jesus. We got to remember he's Jesus.
It's walking on water over there. So I went back and surfed through some of the places that I couldn't go before. So I went back to Hadestown, found an oval stone, went through Pebble Dust Cave, caught a Togepi, named it Tommy, of course, because every Togepi I name, for some reason, or catch, I named Tommy. I went north through the cave, ended up in Moon Ripple Cave. There was nothing I could really do there, but apparently this is where Cresselia would spawn at some point in the post game. But we need the rock climb ability. Went back to Pebble Dust Cave, went into the Eastern Cavern. Nothing I could do, but apparently Zygarde will spawn here in the post game at some point. I did find a Hardstone, Brick Break, Frustration, and some other items. I ended up going to Sea Ridge Town, and there's that little like pond in the southwest corner. Surfed down there, found Substitute and a chest with blue apricorns and Energy Ball. Then I went to Dunestone Oasis and swam north up to Haytide Cape, and went to the island to the northwest, and I ended up finding. Wait, hold on a second. That doesn't make sense. In Dunestone Oasis, I went onto the ruins. Now that we have Rock Smash, there were a few items up there that were blocked. It was Psychic and something else. But then I ended up surfing north towards Haytide Cape from there. We get to Dune Drift Bay. That is north of Dunestone Oasis. Found a deep sea tooth, a cover fossil, a sunstone, and found the house for the guy with the boat who will take us up to Diamond Peak Town. Before I went on the boat ride, I decided to surf all the way back to Haytide Cape. I caught a huge chinchow and named it Burns because it looks like it was just horribly sunburnt. It's like this weird orange color. I found a Waterstone, another chest with a Waterstone and a yellow shard, and I found Thunderbolt, which is pretty cool. Tide Cliff Cave, is that the cave you're talking about?
Yeah.
Up by Haytide. In here, found a Dawnstone, Helix Fossil, King's Rock, Show Salt, Shoal Shell, Damp Rock, and the TM Flamethrower. Also caught a huge Shellos and named it Purdy because it was very, very, very cool hue. I posted it in Discord. And that's it before we go on a boat ride. What did you guys do after beating Chad before going on the boat ride? I'll start with you, Dad.
I just want to say that I need Flamethrower for Blaze.
Yes, yes.
So I decided to do some exploring as well.
Okay.
I figured that I would need to level up a bunch. So I went through Genesis Forest. I found a few items, nothing too crazy. I remembered from the last leg that I wanted to evolve Berry.
Yes.
My Baltor. I knew I needed a Hardstone. So I had to look up how to find one because I didn't think I would just stumble upon one just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the merchant up at the merchant's place. It had to be a Sunday when the person was going to be there, a certain time of day. Bought the stone. All I had to do was level him up while he was holding on to the stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did. Evolved into Gigalith.
Yeah.
Super freaking cool. He is my tanky boy. So I kept training. I caught a Gligar named Gwen. Caught a Tentacool named Teresa. Gary evolved into Wardern. And Larry evolved into Pupitar.
Nice.
And I was back at the beach, and it was storming like crazy. So but at this point, I thought I was done. Like after beating Chad, I thought we were done. So I went surfing, found a chest, still storming like crazy. I got a water gem, 5 max repels, a water stone, and yellow shard. And Gary evolved into drag oil.
Nice.
And then I get to the boat.
Nice. What about you, Kumino? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I remembered from last time I wanted to check more things, like interact with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I checked the TV. A TV on a TV stand. What a predictable place for a TV to be.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's not wrong.
I think it's funny that you talk to the guy who has the boat, and he's like, "You need to ride up to the island up north." Super convenient, you know.
Yeah.
And then I found a heart scale, and then that's me.
Nice. Kumino, did you have any fun times before the boat ride?
No, I did not just go back and explore because like I noticed a lot of places took rock climb. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get rock climb before I just go and explore everything else. But like I said, like I did hit up that cave. And of course I got the chest on the way that had the repels and stuff in it. Got Thunderbolt, beat up all of the trainers out there and taught them that do not mess with me.
Yeah.
Got Flamethrower. I was gonna learn Aquatail because there's a fisherman inside the cave that'll teach you Aquatail.
Oh, nice.
But I was like, no, I'm good because it's too inaccurate. So I was like, nah, I ain't gonna worry about it. But I went to Doomdrift Bay, beat up all the people there, and my God, I love the shout outs to Dragon Ball Z with the Turtle Hermit House and Master Roshi being like, and he's named Roshi, so it just like it was so great to me. I was like, oh my God, I was just ecstatic and just I hurried up and followed that story instead of doing anything else.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball. I don't think I've ever watched it, but I remember Obey noticed that too, and he got a good chuckle out of it, and he was pretty excited.
Yeah, it's just the best thing ever, man.
That's awesome. So of course we get a boat ride, but this is a new change. This didn't happen before 3.0, by the way. We make a pit stop. We don't go straight to Diamond Peak Town. Instead, we make a pit stop at Suncrest Isle, which is a new location to the game. So if you've played Infinity before 3.0 came out, if you're replaying with us, you'll be like me and be like, what the heck? This is totally new. I have no idea what's happening. So we make a little pit stop at Suncrest Isle, and there's some story stuff here, which is pretty cool. But before we can get to the story, we are greeted by Teal and have a battle against our rival. But before we get into the battle, the island itself is pretty cool. It's like volcano-y. There's some like magma pit areas. Really, really cool. Enjoyed the addition for sure.
But the question is, how did she get there?
Dude,
because if we needed to take a boat to get that
right?
far, how did she get there?
I don't know. She how does she get anywhere? She's everywhere. She's
Right.
always where we need to be. That Teal. And she's never like, communicating with us like, hey, I'm heading over to Suncrest. Maybe we should meet up, have a little battle once you get out there.
Right,
no,
you know what I'm
she's
saying?
always just waiting around the corner.
Right.
ready
Or at
to
the very
pounce.
least offer a ride, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
come on.
like we could have traveled together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, Teal, had, for me, she had Coca Smash level 64, Viv's one-shot it. Snorlax level 67, Crash one-shot it. Charizard level 67. I didn't have any more one-shots, but let's just be real. I destroyed Teal.
Yeah.
She had Charizard, Warden, which is the second stage of Gargan.
Yeah.
She had a Go-Goat and a Star Raptor for me. So I don't know. Were your teams similar?
Well, let's see. The Psysteed got one shot by Mai because Dark type going up against Psychic type. Thunder took out Star Raptor one shot. Rocky, there we go. Rocky took out Snorlax. Rapidash went down to Chomp It. Blastoise went down to Thunder, and the Warden went down to Aeos. So
interesting. So yours didn't have Go-Goat or Coca Smash.
Nope.
Interesting. Do you know who did Teal have for you, Jeff? Did you mark it down at all? No. Unbelievable. This guy. This guy.
It sounds familiar though.
Coca Smash and Go-Goat might have been different for you too. So that's interesting. But after we defeat Teal, we see flashes coming from the other side of the island, which is where Id Temple is located. So we head over, see what's going on. Team Fate is here. Of course, we dispatch the grunts with ease in a double.
Wait. Can we talk about how Teal is just like, oh, I'm gonna let you handle them?
Right?
Like, what is this? What is this? Like, she first after the battle, this is the first time that she kind of talked smack and was like, yeah, the only reason that I lost because I was distracted because the memories of this place. But then we get over there with the grunts. She heals our team and says, I'm gonna let you fight them.
Yeah.
How are you not gonna help?
And it's
but you think you can beat us.
Yeah. And they very clearly are gonna double battle us. And she's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta say that was a bad moment for Teal.
Yeah, not cool, Teal. Not cool. So we get into a double battle. And of course, it's not even close. We don't need Teal. I didn't even need half my team.
No.
I did enjoy the Team Fate like dialogue here. They're kind of goofy.
Right. They was acting like a married couple.
Yeah.
While the guy was like, "What? We got to stay on the mission." But no, I figured we could do a little sightseeing. Yeah. And this when they talked to the guy, like, "We're here for sightseeing." Dude, like, "No, we're not."
Yeah. They see us and they're like, "Oh, maybe we should recruit them." And he's like, "No, we shouldn't recruit them." And then the other
boss
person's
said,
like,
"No more recruiting. What are you doing?"
Yeah, and the other person's like, "All right, well, let's battle them." And he's like, "No, we should battle them."
But at least we know where that crazy guy all the way back when we first got the Dawn's lab and was messing with the solar panel. There we go. Like he was recruited by them.
Yep. But after we defeat the Fate grunts, we go inside the Id Temple and kind of get a little backstory. And we learn that hundreds of years ago, before Dunestone Temple was destroyed, an event was witnessed from the island. Close to the coast of the mainland, a beam of light shot straight up into the sky. Within the same day, 3 bright flashes occurred at the various temples, almost as if the light beam appeared at the midpoint between the 3 temples. Some say it was Arceus, or a ghostly figure resembling Arceus. Others mention a serpent that fills the sky. When researched, all that there was were a few stone pillars and a sandy island and they named it Ego Sanctum. No one ever found out what the beam of light was or what emerged from it, only to vanish moments later. So it's kind of like a cool room inside the temple. There's all these stone tablets with like, ancient writings and stuff. And he gives us this little backstory. A little bit more than we've learned so far. So now we have this, alleged serpent in the sky, and now they're talking about Arceus too, along with Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. So it was a nice little moment for some exposition on the story that was not in previous versions of the game. So after we take care of Fate, get a little backstory, we go back and we are escorted all the way up to Diamond Peak Town. But before we get to Dewdrop Coast, and we have to make our way through Frost Ridge Tunnel, and before we get up to Diamond Peak Town. On the coast, you can get a super rod from a fisherman here in the little coast area, and if you surf around, there's a cave entrance on the side that you aren't able to go in because it's too frigid, I believe.
Yeah.
But if you talk to the guy that's standing outside, he'll teach. He's an Iron Tail tutor, which is kind of cool. Did you guys do anything on Dewdrop Coast before going into the tunnel?
Let's see, Dewdrop Coast. Yeah, I grabbed the chest that gave me Frost Breath, 8 Ultra Balls, 2 Revives, 3 Max Potions. Got the rod. This is where I ran into this strange tentacle. I named it Sasha. Swam around, got to the cave, taught Iron Tail to L's.
Nice.
Cave was too frigid. Yep, and then just went into Frost Ridge Tunnel.
Dad, anything for you?
So the only thing before that I put, well, is this a cave?
No, this is the water outside of the cave.
Okay, then nothing yet.
Okay. So we head into Frost Ridge Tunnel, and this is just mere passageway up to Diamond Peak Town. In here, I found the Choice Scarf and Icy Stone and Hail. There is an Icy Wind tutor in here, and I also encountered my this would be my fourth hue. It was a Grape Swinub, and I accidentally one-shot it. I pulled a Dad and just unintentionally killed it, and it made me sad. But Dad, yeah, what happened to you in the tunnel here?
So Larry evolved into Tyranitar.
Nice.
Dude. Yeah.
This is where something else strange happened to me. So I was, the little ice thing to get to the stairs to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that to go up, and as soon as I get up, the Swinub and the trainer, they walk in the frame. Everything flashes, and like they disappear. The overworld Sneasel that was on the cliff disappeared, and the boulders that was there blocking the way to the Sneasel disappeared. I'm like,
what?
Well, okay.
Looks like fate was on your side this late.
Right.
Oh.
Which so I went the way that the boulders were blocking, and
Naturally.
I ended up finding a, what is it called? Tusk fossil. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
Needless to say, they have not returned. I was interested in the Sneasel. Like the overworld stuff, they have a higher chance of having their hidden abilities and stuff. So I was like, okay, so I want the Sneasel. But
man.
So Atomic, please let me know, what do I need to do to get these things to return?
That's crazy. What's with you and Dad just having all these weird things happen in your fan games?
I don't know. I think I've seen Celebi one too many times, because like every time the flash, when the flash happened on the beach, I was like, there's no way this is a Celebi event. But then it happened here, and I'm like, is this a glitch or a Celebi? Like, because it's the same flash that happened with Celebi, but I don't see Celebi around. So
that's hilarious. That like, if it almost seems like it would be part of the game, but I'm telling you it's not. But like if I didn't know any better, maybe I would think that, oh wow, something in the game must be happening. That's funny.
I don't know, but it's just so strange because like okay, so when I get up the stairs, like I said, like the swatting up, it comes in the frame, and the trainer is like right behind him, and it flashes, and then it just disappeared. And I'm like, what in the
They
world
got
is going on
Thanos.
here? Right, that's what's going on. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So when we got to Thorn made the Rush Hour 3 reference of the you and you joke. That was hilarious. So like maybe you have something to do with all of this.
Yeah. He's like, this is gonna get confusing. Yeah. So whoops, I accidentally scrolled too far. So once we get out of Frost Ridge Tunnel, because you're not supposed to be able to do what Kumino did until you get strength, of course. So Dad and I, we didn't get to get this cool fossil just yet. So you get up to Diamond Peak Town, and it's pretty cool little snow town on top of this mountain. There's like little cute snowmen. There's people skiing and snowboarding around on the slopes. The music. I was working on some graphics before we started recording tonight, and I had my game open, and I'm outside the Pokemon Center in Diamond Peak, and I was like looking at stuff for the graphics, and the Diamond Peak music was just playing for 10, 15 minutes or so, and I'm like, this is very relaxing to just have on in the background. It's so nice. But a few things to do around Diamond Peak Town. Lady in one of the houses will teach us a powerful move if we beat Irene, which I totally forgot about until I just read that. So I'm gonna have to go back and see what she can teach us. Did either of you guys go back after beating Irene, or did you?
I stopped.
As you know, I had just finished up right before we started. So
okay, cool. But yeah, so Irene, she is just chilling, literally outside of her house, and when you talk to her, she tells us, that she's Irene. She's the 5th member of the Eagle Council, and she holds her battles outside of town in front of the Kronos Temple, which, hey, that's kind of convenient because that's where we got to go to get the next shard. So she's like, whenever you're ready, meet me over there. We can have this battle. So as you make your way west through Diamond Peak Town and battle the trainers, there's an ice skating puzzle to get to the staircase that leads up to Irene. Have a couple trainer battles, and there are a few Fakemon that these trainers have that are very cool that I wanted to point out. Iceros.
Yes, I want
very
one.
Very cool looking. Has like a singular horn on its snout, and I love how it like changes into blue like the ice.
So something that the 3 of us know about, would this just so happen to be the unicorn, the mammoth unicorn that we saw that picture of that we were talking about? It was a while back.
I don't know, but now that you say that, maybe,
because that's what it looks like.
It does. That, dude. Now that you say that, you are 100,000% correct. That's so good. And there's also another really cool Fakemon that we battle called Arctusk. Super cool. And Irene has a couple cool Fakemon too. There were a lot of cool fakes in this part of the game. So we make our way over to Irene, and we learn in our little conversation before the battle that Professor Wormwood, if you remember, the guy who found us in Genesis Forest, gave us our starting Pokemon, he actually used to be on the Eagle Council years ago. And another fun fact, that much like the people of Echo Rock kind of revere Palkia, the people of Diamond Peak, they hold Dialga in high regard. Hence why the Kronos Temple is here, which is Dialga's temple. But anyways, Irene's like, all right, enough of the chit chat. You came here to battle me. Let's get it on. And yes.
There's just a couple things I did before. Okay. So somewhere I caught a Metacham.
Nice.
Named it Melvin. Caught Bergmite. Named Bridget. I went into a house and checked some of the stuff like I do. There was a fridge that still had a price tag on it. And then when I clicked the trash can, it said a garbage can. It's not meant for people like you. It's meant for people who don't put their shopping carts back when they leave.
Atomic, do y'all live in Memphis?
Dude, that's hilarious.
It's amazing. Amazing. I love it. And then right next to it was a bookcase. It said, a bookcase full of books, fulfilling its glorious purpose.
Hey, a nice little, I mean, I don't know when that line was added, but that sounds very Loki-like. Season 2, glorious purpose.
Yep. I was also waiting for the snowmen to fight me or throw snowballs at me.
Listen, I seen it and I was like, don't tell me this is a new mon. But no,
which would have been pretty cool.
That
would have been really cool.
After those gargoyle statues, you never know.
Right. Like the gargoyle statues, they just changed everything.
And then I caught a Sneasel, named it Sean. The ice puzzle, for some reason, gave me a hard time.
Yeah, it took me quite a few attempts.
But once you figured out the route, I felt stupid. Like I couldn't figure this out. Like
no, I didn't feel stupid. Even when I had to go back and go through it again, because at one point my game froze up. I was like, I spent another like 5 minutes trying to figure it out, even though I literally just figured it out.
But then I get to Irene.
Yeah, for me that ice puzzle. So, have either of you ever heard of Tales of Symphonia?
I've heard of it, never played it.
Okay, so as soon as I seen it, I was like, something's telling me to do the same thing that I did with the ice puzzle there in the Glacier Temple. And so I went down to the bottom, walked up like 2 steps, went in, and immediately went up, and that was it.
Oh,
so
nice.
And that was all I had to do.
Wow.
Oh, hey, that's good. Good to keep in mind for next time.
Yeah,
just cheating the game
because not to go on a side tangent right before we get to the end of the episode, but another feature added in 3.0 is having multiple save files, which is super cool. I've already started a second save file right now. I'm doing a bug monotype, to no one's surprise, I'm sure. But I can see myself replaying Infinity a lot with the different, of course, you have the monotype runs, which opens up many playthroughs, but like also having the challenge, options being able to turn on and off. Like there's a ton of replayability, not including the post game that they have in this. It's already, I wouldn't say like super extensive, but there's a good chunk to do in the post game. So there's a lot of reason to like still hang out in Ego and play this game. So with that being said, I'll try to keep that in mind. 2 steps up, go right, and then straight up to the steps. I mean, sounds easy enough to me.
Yep.
But yeah, so we get to our battle with Irene here for the Vitality Badge. And her team, she's rocking an Obama Snow at level 63, a Jolly Bird, which is a new evolution of the Doofus Delibird. It's level 64.
That's needed.
Yeah, it's actually like, that's pretty tanky. Like, it took me several hits to kill the Jolly Bird. And Mamo Swine at level 68, a Krygonol at 60 something, and 2 super cool Fakemon, a Snow Squatch at level 67 and a Grass Squatch at level 67. Super cool. But since my team is like half fire types and I have a really strong fighting type, I like one-shot everything that Irene threw out at me. But how'd you guys fare, Kumino? You're shaking your head like it's probably breeze.
Man, look, listen. So Diamond Peak, I instantly knew it had to have something to do with ice. So before I came, I fixed my team up to take care of ice Pokemon, dragon Pokemon, and possible fairies. So I was strapped. Led with Thunder. Abomasnow came out. I was like, that's Abomasnow. It can learn Earthquake. This is bad. Switched into Alder. It went for the Earthquake, but Alder has Levitate. And I had made Alder the oven form of Rotom. So it was ready. Instant overheat. Bam. Took out the Abomasnow. And just from there, they just fell like flies because they just couldn't compete. You're muted, Mike.
Oh my gosh, classic Mike. Wouldn't be an episode
Classic.
podcast if I didn't mute myself. Dad, how was your Irene battle?
So I did pretty good until Mamoswine. I took out Abomasnow with Ricky, Snosquatch with Chica, Kryganol.
Mm-hmm.
Knocked out Chica, but then Aaron took that out. So I did pass out. I know. I'm not learning very well.
You're getting there, trust me.
So I said it was time for some fire, some heat.
It's time for some heat.
Which I didn't. I don't even think I used.
So he went to Bushido and got Dale Fox.
Yeah.
And then it was done. I burned ego to the ground. Yeah, I ended up beating her the second time.
Nice. Did you utilize Blaze, hopefully?
I don't think I did. I didn't write it down. I might have been frustrated. Because usually when I get frustrated, I just like focus. Hyper focus.
Makes sense. So after we beat Irene, she gives us the Vitality Badge, and of course now we have the ability to use Strength, which is very convenient because the path to Kronos Cave is blocked by a bunch of boulders, so we need Strength to move out of the way. Now, to be clear, in this leg, we did not go into Kronos Cave. We'll cover that in the next episode on our journey to the Elite Four and the Champion. But I did notice that there are some items up on the ledge before the entrance to Kronos Cave. So went over there, found Earthquake, which was nice. I ended up going back into Frost Ridge Tunnel to get the Tusk fossil, and also in another cavern in that cave, there is a horn fossil. So I grabbed those. But yeah, after we beat Irene, I kind of skipped over. Team Fate ends up showing up. They kind of spoil our victory here. They head into the temple, and Irene's like, well, what are you doing? You got to go stop them. So
I'm not helping you, but you go stop them.
Yeah, right.
In which I could have
sworn
when Thor sent us here, he said he's calling you to let you know what's happening, so you could do something about it. Not so I could do something about it, so you could do something.
Is Irene maybe like Teal's like great grandmother or something? Like a lot of just throwing us under the bus and like
maybe
I don't know. But yeah, so next episode on PokéBoys, we will be journeying into the Kronos Temple. But of course, as we wrap, go ahead.
Sorry. So Irene does have a relative. Like before you get to her, there's a dude snowboarding down and going back up, whatever. There's a trainer, or someone, I think it's her granddaughter or something. She teaches you a move. Like you have 3 options of moves that you can.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember which move I learned, but
I can tell you. Let me find what you sent me.
Oh, yeah.
You can keep talking because I have to scroll through your team.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. That's all I was gonna say.
Frenzy Plant is what you learned, a grass move. Very strong. They have very high power. But I think after you use them, it's kind of like Hyper Beam, where you have to recharge the next turn.
Yeah.
And you can learn the other moves from her, but you have to wait because she only teaches you 1 per day.
Oh,
so you could learn all of them.
Nice. That's actually really good to know.
From my understanding.
Yeah. So before we get into our final teams after leg 4, I mentioned I grabbed the horn and tusk fossil, and Dad, you Facebooked me and you're like, hey, I have a question because I want to do something cool that you guys might be proud of, but I also don't want to ask you because I want it to be a surprise. But what were you trying to do? I'll let you reveal what you were trying to do.
Well, I have to look it up because
oh geez, he doesn't even remember. So he
some of it had to do with the Tyranitar, but that wasn't it.
No, what you were trying to do, I'll just save the suspense here. He was like, I'm trying to revive these fossils. Like, what do I do? Where do I do this at? And I was like, what? That's a great question because I totally forget. I did some.
I sure don't know.
It is in on the 2nd floor of the Trident Tower back in Haysport City. So what I did, I went there and I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 8 fossils that I needed to revive.
Jesus.
So I went there. It's on the 2nd floor of the Trident Tower, and I believe it takes a full day in game for the fossil to be revived. So what I ended up doing, I'd go drop a fossil off, fly back somewhere, sleep for 3 times, head back and pick up my fossil. So the horn fossil, it turns into an Isoros, which I named Kevin after Kevin Smith because Isoros has that giant tusk and Kevin Smith directed tusk, so it only made sense. Then I revived the tusk fossil, which became Arc Tusk, which I named Smith after Kevin Smith because he directed Tusk. A root fossil that turned into Laleep, which I named Roots. A claw fossil that turned into Anorith, which I named Scoots. I had 2 old ambers, which of course is Aerodactyl. I named 1 Terry and 1 Berry. I had a cover fossil, which is a Tortuga, which I named Nemo, and a helix fossil, which is Omanite, that I named Shelly. Did either of you guys do anything after beating Irene? All right, so let's first off, did you guys have fun with this leg?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Found a lot of items.
How you guys feeling about the narrative heading into the last leg of the season? What do you guys think's going on here?
I'm enjoying the narrative. The only problem that I got is, especially with the Suncrest Isles, like long-winded, especially when you got to take note and you're like, okay,
that's
this
true.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here typing like crazy with the notes.
But I love the narrative. The narrative, like, I'm curious as into what's going to happen because they do a good job of putting twists and turns in here.
Yeah. What do you think Team Fate's up to, Dan?
I don't know.
Where do you guys think? Where did we come from? What's happening? Like,
okay, so I think the leader, you, is actually us from a different time or dimension.
That's
what I'm thinking.
Interesting. What about this serpent that fills the sky?
That's
and
Rayquaza.
these talks of Arceus, like they set up a lot of things in this leg, on top of the Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, the temples, like yeah, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on.
As long as I don't have to throw sacks of dust at Arceus, I'm okay.
Oh man, if we get, well, I mean, I know it happens, but like, could you imagine another Giratina battle?
Oh my god,
that was so insane,
man.
Oh my goodness. All right, so yeah, there's lots to look forward to as we wrap up this game next episode. Hope you guys are enjoying it as much as we are, and I'm enjoying it a ton on my second playthrough. And Atomic and the rest of the team, 3.0, so good. Chef's kiss. Like, good job with 3.0. But let's do our team recaps here, and then we can get out of here. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks for the fifth and final leg. I finished with Vivs, my Ceragol, who's Bug Dragon, at level 64. Its ability is Compound Eyes. It's holding a Silver Powder, and it knows Dragon Pulse, Earth Power, Aerial Ace, and X Scissor. I have Crash, my Coca Smash, level 70, holding a black belt, has Justified, and it knows Drain Punch, Fire Punch, Super Power, and Leaf Blade. Bud, my Psy Steed, level 69, holding a Twisted Spoon, knows Magic Guard, and has Flamethrower, Iron Head, Jump Kick, and Extra Sensory. Hooch, the Warina, level 69, has Black Glasses, the ability Runaway, knows Dark Pulse, Moonblast, Ice Punch, and Crunch. Toots, my Grimfowl, level 70, is holding Sharp Beak, knows the ability Unnerve, and has Air Slash, Night Daze, Hypnosis, and Dream Eater. And Cindy, the Ego Typhlosion, level 70, holding Charcoal, the ability Static, knows Thunderbolt, Thunder, Flamethrower, and Cinder Breath. Kumino, your team after leg 4.
All right. So I got Thunder, the Ego Typhlosion, level 72, Static, holding an Amulet Coin, got Heat Wave, Swift, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt. Chumpet, the Ego Feraligatr, at level 70 with the Merciless ability, holding no items, got Dark Pulse, Leech Life, Muddy Water, and Sludge Bomb. Rocky, the Ego Azumarill, with the ability Huge Power, holding a Quick Claw, knows Dig, Assurance, Hammer Arm, Smackdown. Els, the Ego Charizard, with the competitive ability, holding a Charcoal, knows Bites, Iron Tail, Dragon Pulse, and Flamethrower. Fancy, my Gardevoir, at level 70, with the Synchronized ability, holding no items, knowing Moonblast, Psychic, Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, and Alder, the Rotom, Heat Form, Oven, with the Levitate ability, no items, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Uproar, and Overheat. And you're muted again.
Classic.
Twice.
My goodness. Apologies. Thank you for letting me know. Dad, who did you end leg 4 with?
All right. So I had Ricky, my level 73 Blastoise, with the ability Drizzle. He's got Wild Charge, Typhoon, Hydro Pump, and Blizzard. Then Chica, level 66, Meganium, with the ability Chlorophyll, holding Dragon Fang, has Magical Leaf, Frenzy Plant, Dragon Pulse, and Bide. I have Barry, my level 63 Gigalith, with the ability Sturdy, has Mud Slap, Iron Defense, Stone Edge, Power Gem, and is holding Soft Sand. And then I have Aaron, level 63 Skarmory, with the ability Keen Eye, who also has a level or a grade F in HP. He has Autotomize, Air Slash, Night Slash, and Steel Wing. Then I got Larry, level 58 Tyranitar, who I'm very excited about. The ability Sandstream with Hyper Beam, Crunch, Earthquake, and Stone Edge. Blaze, level 59 Rapidash, holding a Quick Claw. Ability Flame Body, Inferno, Stomp, Bounce, and Flare Blitz. That's it.
Very nice. Team's really coming together, boys. And yeah, we're really looking forward to wrapping up this game. And you know, getting to the end of this narrative with you guys, and then, you know, really, it might be, you know, maybe we'll tease season 5 a little more, you know, next week, and definitely, or next episode, and definitely in the finale. But Kumino, he's cooking up a pretty fun idea for our challenge. Our return to the challenge seasons.
Boy.
He's picked out the reward for the season finale battle, of course. So we'll reveal a little more information maybe next episode, and definitely by the finale. And really looking forward to the season 4 interstitial tournament. That's going to be a blast, and if it goes well, and you know, we get some more interest, it might be an idea we revisit in future, you know, interstitial episodes. But yeah, looking forward to a lot of fun things coming on the horizon. So make sure you guys subscribe here. Go follow Kumino on Twitch and Twitter. His links are in the episode description. Of course, go subscribe to I guess this is on Showboys, so you should subscribe here and join the Discord. Follow us on Twitter. And we will see you next episode for leg 5 of Pokemon Infinity. Good day.
Peace.